we're back with part two of our wonderful reunion, kicking off our new season, friend. We are drinking some Rosé Brut. I tried to get some champagne for our champagne girl, GLUNCEIN, but because of budget cuts, I had to do because of budget cuts and inflation, we had to do the sparkling rosé. So it was either champagne or the Champion brand. So we went ahead and said we'll do the sparkling champagne, and it's a little dry for my taste. It's from Trader Joe's. GLUNCEIN, I know you've been sipping our rosé. What do you think?
I love it. It's delicious. It's full-bodied. It's sweet, and it is getting me where I need to be.
Friend, I'm talking about the champagne, the rosé, not me, friend. So
I mean, it did go down the list, though.
He did. He hit the list. I was like, okay. Obviously, he is checking out my profile. So, speaking of profiles, today I'm going to talk about hookup apps versus dating apps.
Ooh.
So, particularly Jack versus Grindr versus Hinge. Like, that number one question that we get on the apps, I know for me, is what are you looking for? And depending on who you're talking to and what platform you are talking to, that word or that phrase, that sentence, and that answer can mean something totally different. Like if you're on a hookup app, what are you looking for? It's going to be different than what, for me, you put on Hinge or eHarmony, or as my co-host uses, Christian Mingle.
I sure did.
And joining us in the conversation is a friend of the show and content creator, professor. Michael Weaver, who is a very relationship oriented, and me otherwise. So welcome to the show.
Yes, welcome.
Thank you for having me.
We are happy to have you. Your videos on Instagram gives me joy and light, especially when you put on that wig and do it. So, can you tell our listeners a little bit about yourself and where they can follow you?
Yes. So I'm not on all platforms. I am primarily on Instagram. I'm slowly working my way to TikTok and Facebook, but it is Michael D. Weaver Jr., not spelled out Jr., just Jr. But my Instagram originally used to be just very, I don't want to say boring, but very controlled. And I went through a space where I just felt like, you know what? I have a lot of thoughts and ideas in my head. I'm just going to put it out there and not care about what people think and just go for it. And I'm always around people and they're telling me, like, you make me laugh. And it's like, it's this natural thing that you do. So if it pops up in my head, I don't care what time it is. If I have the availability, I'm getting into production mode. I'm getting out the camera, the ring light, the wigs. I make most of my wigs myself.
Wow, I did not know that.
Yes, I make most of my wigs. They know me at the hair store. I'd be like, I need this color track. I have a mannequin head and everything. Like, I'm literally putting everything together. And I get a thrill out of it. I go thrift shopping to try to match like a lot of the videos that I'm doing based on the personalities, and it's just really fun. It's a lot of work for 15 to 30 seconds of filming, but it's worth it because people, I know they're laughing and it's brightening up someone's day.
It brightens my day, friend. And congrats. I did not know you made your own wig, so we'll talk after the show. But yeah, so we're talking about hookups, like, and dating. And, you know, I know behind the scenes before we started the show, we talked about dating, we talked about relationships. So I guess I'll pass the mic over to my co-host, Ken, in a way of, okay, so the topic is, in our Pour Our Glasses, is what are you looking for? And let's say this is someone who was asking on both platforms. Two different people, same question. So my name is J Boogie
Okay.
on Grindr, and I'm
okay.
saying, what are you looking for?
All
and
right.
then answering the question of Jay Sean on Hinge,
Okay.
what are you looking for? So,
so I guess I have to speak to where I am currently in life and versus where I would be, maybe a few years back. So we're talking about Grindr, J Boogie, and someone asked me what I'm looking for. Clearly it's something on a sexual tip because typically that's what Grindr is for. So I would say something to the tune of like, because I have class about myself, so I would say I'm looking for you.
Right?
I
might take that, friend. Come on.
So, yeah,
Need I mention that you are a Scorpio?
I am a Scorpio, so we put on the charm, but it would allude to something along the lines of sexual intention, versus Jay Sean at Hinge as to what I'm looking for. Then that's more detailed because it's giving. I'm giving more of myself. I'm actually saying the things that interest me in hopes that they align with the person that I'm speaking with. And it doesn't necessarily have to align with them, but should I say maybe intrigue me or compliment kind of my thought process or whatever case may be. So those lines can be a little bit blurred here and there. Like I think, I don't know if you guys heard me earlier, but I did receive like a dick picture on Hinge recently.
I didn't know they can send pictures.
I didn't know either, but I did.
They must
I
be
did
premium.
That. Yeah, I received that, and I just was kind of a little thrown just because Hinge is supposedly supposed to be like an actual dating app and not something for a hookup. But in my experience of being on all the various platforms, Grindr, Jacked, Hinge, I haven't done Tinder.
I ain't paying that.
Yeah, I haven't done Tinder, but you are. I have a bit of a quarrel with the platforms in general. I feel like, and it's not something that they've created on their own. Well, kind of, sort of, but I feel like I'm shopping. I feel like I'm shopping for someone. I'm like,
on what app again?
On any of them.
Oh yeah.
In particular, but like for instance with Grindr or Jacked, you're shopping for a sexual partner. Yes, you're trying to see like what piques your interest. If this person has a certain body type, or if they have a certain size member in their pants, or if they have a bubble, or whatever the case may be, like. You are shopping for what you like. And I have an issue with that just because I don't think it should feel that way. It shouldn't. Like, you want to have a natural connection, or at least I want to have a natural connection with someone. So in this big age that I am now, I'm not looking to shop anymore. I'm looking for someone of substance. And, call it what you want, but at the end of the day, I am hoping that I align with someone who, is right for me and I'm right for them. Because it's one thing to look at someone and say, oh, I totally get their vibe and I'm with them, but they also have to feel the same about you. So that's where I am in my setup. But don't get me wrong, I am still present on the various platforms, but my interests have changed over the years. And so as you get the young ones that are on there, and they're looking for something quick. They want something now. Can we meet now? Can we do this? Can we do that? And I'm just like, that's cute, but I'm not necessarily in that space right now. But I don't knock anyone who is.
You mentioned something interesting. You said shopping.
Yeah.
Right? It's
like shopping.
One on these apps like Grindr and Jack, you're shopping for takeout. Something quick.
Yeah.
Something to please the soul. You ain't got a lot of cleanup to do. Well, the other ones, you're hoping that you're shopping for to put food on the table or grocery. In my metaphor, y'all know that I do.
Yeah.
Of that, one is takeout, and one is actually putting in the refrigerator, putting in that work to make the ingredients. Well, one is takeout. So as we go into that analogy, before I pass on the mic, is which one do you find yourself more on? Is it the Uber Eats or Instacart?
I am more on I'm shopping in Whole Foods, looking for something to nourish my soul. Yes, all of the fun and the thrill of getting, some good takeout, especially when it's late at night. And, you're like, yes, I want something that's going to be nice and savory and, temporary for that moment. But I am more in a space of like, no, I need something that's actually going to nourish my spirit and nourish my soul and actually give me more of substance. And if, sex comes after that, then great. But in the meantime, I really am looking for something that I can have, like you said, in the fridge. That I can go back and repurchase and know that it's going to be there.
Come on,
and it hasn't changed. So that's where I am right now. Now, like I said, don't get me wrong. You're still talking to a Scorpio here. So I have my moments where I'm like, I want something quick. I want a good takeout. But those are really far and few in between now. And I'm grateful for that just because I see the generations that are coming after me. And I'm like, oof, you guys don't know the half. You do not know the half. So that's where I'm at.
I guess I would pick that to you, GLUNCEIN. Like how when you are, I know you're busy with music and you have a whole career, but we get urges. We're adults. We're things, and
y'all missed the pre-show. We were talking about something. We missed the pre-show.
The rosé part of the show, and so obviously, of course, being busy and things you may want a different support system, whether it be for whatever you may want it to be for, whether it be quick or whether it be long term. Far as with what are you looking for when it comes to, is it something I'm spending more time on these apps here for quick or on these apps for getting to know the artist or the person behind the songs?
That's such a good question. I'm also going to say it's a timely question because I wanted to bring you all with an exclusive gift. So I have a single coming out this Friday. It is called Tonight. And
heard it
is exactly about this topic. And so to answer your question, like I'm very much the person that's like, I'm not looking for a relationship. I'm just out here, like I'm busy. I'm living my life. And then deep down, I'm like, oh, but it would be nice to have somebody here consistently. And so I think I'm less of a takeout person because I'm not hanging out with a lot of people. I'm more so like I will go to a restaurant every once in a while. And then from the restaurant, I will go to the Whole Foods and try to find the ingredients to make the meal myself.
Can I say, listeners, we're talking about men. We're not talking about... They're going to be like, wait, are we talking about food here? Yes. We're just using analogies, just in case, your parents are in the room.
So what restaurant are we in, speaking of?
Oh, I'm open. I'm not picky with my restaurants. But
okay. So late night Taco Bell versus like, a Cheesecake Factory.
Well, friend, I hope you're not doing Taco Bell later.
I was going to say
Taco Bell. Okay.
Just friend.
But no, I am not a big user of dating apps. I use them every once in a while. I'm very much a person, like, I like to meet somebody organically out. Because I feel like in this day and age, we have gotten so accustomed to using dating apps to meeting people that we forget how to talk to people.
That's true, yeah.
And I know the person that I am looking for, the energy I'm looking for, is somebody that is not afraid to speak to me. And vice versa. I shouldn't be afraid to speak to them, and it should be very organic. I think that organic things can be found on dating apps for sure. But I think you have to understand personally what your true intention is. Because if you're saying you're not wanting relationships, but then are acting relationship-y, that's going to change the dynamic of the person that you're with.
No, you bring a great point. I would love to meet someone organically. I always envision going to the grocery store and picking up a few items and then seeing my man across the way. Right, like I always envision that in my head, and maybe that will happen one day. But it is a journey as you navigate this space, just because we live in a time where people are so busy and they look to dating apps as a way to like kind of quickly fix whatever it is that they have going on in their lives. And I think about friends of mine that I know are on the dating apps, and they're like, oh, I can't find no one genuine. I can't do this, I can't do that. And I'm like, because everybody is using this platform, for various intentions, and you would hope that people are on the same page, but they're not. So that makes it more difficult.
So, definitely. Michael, Professor, as a content creator and using Instagram and things, and people always on their phones, and I said many followers.
Before we get into that, because me and my pettiness.
Go ahead.
Michael's teeth is real. His teeth are real.
It is, and they are.
They're real. They're straight. And so when you do see the videos, just recognize. And the reason why I need to say that, because anybody that here's my petty moment. Anybody that's been watching Bad Boys Texas, that some of those don't have the real teeth. They have some veneers.
Friend, don't have Zeus coming for us.
They don't have to be mad at me. So I just wanted to preface by saying Michael's teeth is real. When he smiles, they're real.
Yes.
All right, there we go. Go ahead.
Michael's screen name was Colgate.
What is it? Oh my God! I did not know that.
But Fred, so as we go into this age of technology where we find dating and the next person within a mouse on our phone, has that changed the dynamics, in your opinion, on how we meet people? We're no longer bumping into each other at the Whole Foods or at the mall. Has social media and apps changed how we interact with one another for our partners?
Me personally, I think that is possible. However, being a Sagittarius, I am always going against the grain. I refuse to allow social media apps, Grindr, Jag, any of that to change what I'm looking for. I'm really big when it comes to protecting my energy. And kind of like what you guys were talking about earlier, I don't change what I'm looking for and how I communicate with people, no matter the platform. If I'm on Hinge or if I'm on Jag or whatever, I'm that person that creates like an entire paragraph letting you know, don't send me dick pics. I don't do hookups. I'm not looking for this. I'm not looking for that. If you inbox me, sup, hey, send in a dick pic, but any of that, I'm blocking you immediately.
Yeah.
That is just how I am.
He's like, I'm not even going to give you a chance. I don't care how you look.
I don't care how you look.
I at least say hey back.
No. I think for me, I didn't have a lot of that when I first moved to DC. When I was introduced to Jack, somebody told me it was a black gay Facebook. Okay, so I went into it with that type of optimistic behavior. I'm like, oh yeah, we have our own little community. Yada, yada. I get on there. I did a profile. I had paragraphs of where I came from, when I'm in school, everything.
And I know they were looking at your profile like, sir, you just want to see what the penis is looking like.
And so honestly though, I would say I'm glad I did it. Because what happened was it weeded out a lot of people that I didn't need in my life anyway. Some of my very closest friends that I have in DC, I've been in DC for 8 years now. Some of my closest friends all came through Jack. We've never had a hookup. We've never kissed. We've never done any of that stuff. And so I give credit to that with how I was straightforward on those apps. And I remained consistent. I felt like people would appreciate seeing, no matter whether I'm on Twitter, no matter whether I'm on Instagram, or Jack, or Hinge, or whatever. I even had BGC back in the day.
College days. That was college. Adam for Adam.
Yeah, but it's like no matter where they see me, I want people to see, oh, he's consistent.
Yeah.
He's not changing. Because that way you know if this is the person that you're chatting with when we do finally decide to meet up, because I'm not meeting up with with everybody. When we do decide to meet up, this is who you're going to get in person. I don't have to code switch between these different personalities and think, dang, did I show you a dick pic over here? But I'm acting like I'm a Christian over here. Yeah. Like, it is what it is. And so, no, social media for me, I'm problematic to some people because if you approach me wrong, it's all about respect. If you approach me wrong, I'm checking you in that moment. And if you don't appreciate or if you don't act like you understand, I'm blocking you because you're not entitled to my space. And that's just how I navigate social media.
Okay. I like that. I like that consistent across the board. I think that's important.
Is it a balance for you when you were on the apps? Were you this percentage Jack Grindr, this percentage Tinder, Hinge, or was it just all full circle?
It was not balanced. I gave more time towards Tinder and Hinge. Because Tinder and Hinge primarily have people to actually create profiles. Whereas with Jack, I've never had Grindr. But with Jack, I've never had Grindr. But because I was under the impression that Grindr was only for hookups. So I'm like, well, I'm not even going to enter that arena because it's only for hookups. The only reason I, got into the Jack field was because somebody told me it was a Black Gay Facebook.
Yeah. Who told you that?
It was when I first moved to DC. I should have known better. But I was like a fish out of water. Like, I didn't know anyone out here. All my family is back Midwest. And so I'm just like, I just want to meet people. I was a new Howard student. Like, I just want to feel like I have community. I'm the middle child of a large group of, brothers and sisters. And so it's just like, I missed that unit of just having love and people genuinely caring about me. So when I got to DC, I'm like, I need people. Like, outside of school, outside of work, I want people who just care about me. And so when I got on Jack, I talked to people, but the minute they took it a different direction, I'm like, hey, remember I told you I don't like this, I don't like that. And I would just block people. I learned early on you can only block so many people on Jack.
So your block game was strong.
Oh, yeah. After you block so many people, it unblocks the beginning people that you started to.
Really? I don't use that button. Tear that button up. Look, he did.
Oh, yeah.
Lord. But that's good, because it's a difference between wasting my time and wasting my time. When hookup apps is there, you can waste your time. They don't show, you may waste a little water and things like that.
As you prepare.
But in Hinge or in people in relationship-oriented apps, wasting your time is really wasting your investment because you're on this thing of I'm not for NSA, I'm not for FWB and things like that. I'm looking for some. So it's a difference between wasting my time of 10 minutes and 15 minutes.
But it's also you recognizing you need to, you're taking a chance either way. And so I think
that's true.
I think even though, yes, I agree with you on wasting time, but in order to know if your time is going to be wasted or not, you have to invest it. And so that whole portion of it can be challenging, at least for me. But sometimes I'm like, I don't even want to put in the time because I don't know if it's going to be wasted or not.
Yeah, that's true.
So for myself, I have to get out of the mindset of not wanting to do it because of the projected outcome in my head as to what it's going to end up. Because, clearly sometimes, or you would hope that one of those times that you feel like you're working towards someone wasting your time to actually not wasting your time, it's worth your while.
Yeah. It's definitely one you have to prepare for, and one you have to prep for. You get what I'm saying, though? You get what I'm saying? And when I say
hopefully the followers are following
with me with this is because when you are preparing or being prepared for a long-term relationship or you're dating and things like that, you have to be willing for the heartbreak, for oh my God, you were just another one. When already, as friend had mentioned, Michael had mentioned, he already knew what it was on Grindr, so he wouldn't even waste his time with it. I too have not had a Grindr. So
one of these days you're gonna stop lying.
But just saying is just notice for me as one of the things I wanted to talk about it because me and a friend was talking and I was like, I want a relationship, but I spend more time on the no goods, knowing that maybe I'm really not for the commitment part, at least right now in my life, but of the hi, bye, thank you, ma'am, see you later, in a kind of way, but longing for what you will find hopefully on these Christian mingles and dating apps. You guys know? Go ahead.
No, I'm big on the law of attraction. Okay. I'm really deep when it comes to like spirituality, not religion, but like spirituality, law of attraction. And I believe what you put your energy into, that's what you get. And even if you feel like you're just wasting time, you're just browsing, it's energy being consumed. As long as you're awake, you're breathing, you're using your senses, that's energy being consumed, and whatever you're doing with it. And so for me, I kind of operate in life with this. Every day I wake up, I have a fully charged battery, right? Whatever I give my energy to throughout that day depletes that battery. And that sets the trend to tell the universe what to send me the next day and the next day. The issue that I think a lot of us have is we live by instant gratification instead of living with a purpose and a destination in mind. And so when you only do things based off of a response to what you're doing, and this is just my belief, you continue to get that thing back. It's almost like a lesson that life is teaching you. Whereas when you're proactive in what you're doing, even if life is happening around you and you're getting these different results that don't match up with what you're going for, you're shaping and molding the universe. He doesn't participate in these things. Let's give him what actually is attracting him. And I think that's how I've gotten lucky to meet the people that I've met. I don't think Jack'd is a bad app. I don't think Snapchat or any of those things are bad because the energy that I've put into it have given me really great results. And I always encourage people to think of it that way. Like, yes, you can participate in what's happening, but try to participate based on what you want and not based on what's there. And what you want will start to show up, and what's there will start to fade into the background.
That's true.
Yeah.
Okay, I like that approach. Actually, we like that approach.
You gave us the motivational quote.
Hello, somebody. We didn't need to say anything.
So before we wrap up, GLUNCEIN, like, is there anything like you have like to say to close out? Pour that glass.
Yeah. I mean, I'd say stay true to yourself. I think, like Mike said, it's all about the energy that you put into whatever it is that you are interested in or want to do. It's never too late. It's never too early. And I think that you cannot be afraid to be vulnerable and put yourself out there no matter what. So
I think it's so beautiful. I put my energy into my OnlyFans.
I
think it's important to really put all of your energy in it, and you can get things out. Subscription $9.99.
Yes, friend. So what's the promo code?
No, just joking, guys. No, I think all of what you're saying, the both of you, is spot on. I think it's important to really recognize where your energy lies and where you want that to go. And as it travels, you're gonna intersect with someone who also has that same vibe and energy, and you're like, oh, this is where we need to be right now in this space, and not losing hope. I think that's really important, is just continuing to keep moving, being optimistic, not letting situations kind of beat you down. I think that's been, and I'm speaking not only for myself, but to myself, because it's kind of hard to navigate the space when you're like, oh, I don't really see it. No, I see it. So yeah, it's protecting your peace and your energy, but hopefully being on a track of finding that space with someone else. So that's
agree.
My last little tidbit.
Well, thank you guys for joining with us, and continue to be proud supporters and follow us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and YouTube. And thank you for joining us on Rewine-ing the Week.
And GLUNCEIN's OnlyFans.